real quick, my code word, years. The replay champions, I have a secret. Biggest issue and the biggest problem with most live streams is they don't do it for the replay. They don't do it for the long term. It's going to be on here for years. You have to treat it that way. You have to do it so that it's searchable, it's reachable, and it's watchable for years to come. That is the biggest secret for my replay champions. Someone's in here right now in the live stream. I started like 12 minutes late. Did it on purpose. One of the biggest mistakes too is staying late, not starting at the time that you're scheduled. Boys, leave alone. Creatures, leave it. Ah, I don't care what it is. Leave it alone. Sorry, I went after a critter. But another mistake right there is surrounding directions. But I'll get to that. Throughout this whole thing, I'll explain how you're going to make it searchable, watchable, replayable for years to come, because it is, in my idea, the biggest problem with live streams. So as we go through, you'll get into examples, things that you can do for best practices that'll help you. One of the biggest things is dead space. It is Listener Barnles, how's it going? File Smoke 420. Hi everybody. It's dead space during live streams is when you are going through your live stream and there's large chunks of time where it's nothing's being said, nothing entertaining is happening, there's nothing going on that's really drawing attention. That's where you're going to get a lot of fast words, throughs, and that's where you lose a lot of watch time and dip time on your analytics. So one of the, like I said, with the distractions, it's background sounds. Background distractions, dogs that like pain in the ass while you're live streaming, neighbors, things like that. Like mostly it's things you can't control. If you can put yourself in an environment you can, easily avoid it. I need you to help me with the audio to see if is everybody am I breaking for everybody else? I do take gaps in my speech, so sometimes it sounds like I'm breaking up. Take those pauses. Okay. But and there you go. The problem with live streams is sound quality. If you don't have a good sound quality, if you don't have a good cadence, that can make you lose people in seconds. If you've got a bad point where you start breaking up, it starts getting choppy, you can lose viewers, you can lose subscribers. Maybe not subscribers, but you can lose watch time on that live stream, and it will be a searchable later because it'll correlate to that. Another big thing is lighting. Right now we're in a natural environment. We are outside. It is actually very hard to control lighting, but actually can shine at me. It's actually stopped a little bit. The light dips back and forth where it's trying to adjust for the sun. It's the freaking sun. Oh, another big issue with live streams is time. Well, there's nothing I can really do. It's probably my quality. Hopefully it fixed later. Sometimes it does. My signal has been choppy today. But demonstrating issues and problems and things that are an issue, and I'm also explaining some problems and how to fix them. Timing is another big issue with a live stream. If you have enough analytics, you are able to look into the back end of it on your audience side and see what time people are watching you. And the sound is breaking up and it's fixated.
Might just be your signal. My signal's been correct too.
I know it's our signal, but I'm saying it's fucking up the live stream. How much is coming through? Are you getting enough? Yeah. So the next thing I was to talk about is the timing. You can see when the most concentrated time is when people are watching your channel. That is your best time to do a live stream. Like uploading at that time would be pretty good. An hour beforehand, pretty good. But best bet is to do a live stream. Start about a half an hour before your peak time is. Sometimes that's how I talk too, is a word at a time. But I appreciate it. Hopefully it's better and fixes up here in a minute. It's also probably getting a shit ton of notifications. Uh, so yeah, your timing is really important for the live stream. You do it 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. You're gonna have a group of people in it, but you're not going to get a huge group of people. There's not a ton of people are actually 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. So if you can do it afternoon, early morning, late evening, look at the time bracket as to when your channel is being watched. You can hit that time bracket or half an hour beforehand and continue it through it. That would be your best bet, because you'll be able to catch a nice chunk of watch time, a nice chunk of views after live. So later on, your analytics will look better right from the jump. So content for a live stream is really important. I forgot my lighter. You set your tent, nice. With content, it's now this is again not saying anything against people's style. If people like use YouTube to chill and hang out and do live streams and have people just hang out and chat and open panels, things like that, I enjoy that occasionally too. But what I'm talking about here is best suggestions and practices for people who want their live streams to be useful later on for your channel, to be getting views, watch time, and when you're monetized, ad revenue through YouTube, without having to share it, without having to have real people going through and rewatching it. It'll come up in search results. It'll be on a topic people will want to watch, and it'll be at a speed, cadence, and sting to be able to be watched again. Sorry for my lungs today. Now, with content that is live, there's a lot of options that is really good. Like when I was doing a survival chat in one shot, people would be like, well, how many times did you try that? Was that really everything that's there? Because you can do a seamless cut. It's good enough, especially if you do something repetitive. And 90% of people, when they're leaning by the fire, they're in the same exact position. So a lot of people have good opportunities to splice cuts in one shot when messing with the file. So that's like a video editing technique that a lot of the shader ones use when they're trying to do something they need to cut stuff out. So your content when you're live streaming can be edited as long as, actually the live stream instead of taking pictures of it and editing it down into a video. But the whole live stream itself, you can see from start to finish everything that happens. That way, it's more reliable and more believable. People are not listen to article on live. So people are going to want to watch the content later on, come up in search, come up in result. It's going to be something that catches their attention that can actually watch. As much as fun to sit here and bullshit, chat, and talk to people, Snoke Joe cruising YouTube pops up on your channel, or pop up on search results because they're looking at something that was mentioned or said, but 90% of the chat panel and the live stream is just dead space. A lot of going on. Someone's sitting there being talking head, just the bullshit, and not actually talking, or just so focused on that that they're not talking about the subject that they were intending to. Snowcone Joe isn't going to care about all the stuff that you guys are talking about, no matter how interesting it gets as it goes in. He pops up, he's going to be like, oh, what's this bullshit? All right, let's see if it gets to something. Oh, all right. Well, but I'm going to go see if my search result is something else. What?
We're a little sick.
Okay, though.
This kid is running around the camera doing my eyes.
Speaking of that, finishing up content is really key when it comes to a live stream if you want it to last. But seamless chat, being able to cover your topic, cover your subject, continue on a good cadence, and work in the random chat, the stuff people are talking about, the greetings of people, while not getting tripped up and so focused on it. As channels get larger and more people go in the chat, it gets harder. And I understand why larger channels, when they're trying to do a live stream and focus on the subject at hand, we're so focused on taking questions a certain way. You have to have, a question mark either end of your question to be able to get it answered. Or more likely to get it answered. We used to have 100 people doing that. It's really hard to get through questions. So I really appreciate the struggle as to how hard it is for them to maintain that cadence. And there's some people who do that very well, and some people spend 6 hours answering questions on the subject or mention something they wanted to cover, and they don't even get to the whole meat and bones of what they're trying to go over. And you can see it like 3/4 of the way through, they start looking through their notes, and then condense everything they wanted to say right there in one answer before. So being able to create a seamless chat is definitely a skill you've got to pick up to be able to get people continue talking, answer something, mention something. And one of the other biggest things is the wife said what and when I was trying to what somebody else said, instead of just responding to it without saying anything, he said the subject of what they're talking about relatively well enough that it was able to be picked up. So somebody watching later on if it were to just be like, oh, cool, they're gonna be like, what's the fuck is it you talking about? Yeah, if Jay's working on the candle was my eyes nice. That's cool. That's funny. That the vibe translates over into the video. So another big thing is length. Depending on the subject, depending on the matter, if it's like you could see videos about the Amber and Johnny Depp trials, all of that, you could see hours and hours and hours of it in a single live stream. And you can see one person talk about that subject for hours and hours. And that will be watchable for quite a long time. Drunken Shift, fuck you, how's it going? And it's, saying that nature of that subject, as long as you can keep the commentary interesting, that'll be searchable, that'll be watchable for years. But if you are hanging out, chatting, doing open panels, doing shout outs, and everything else, isn't going to stick around for 5 hours because there's no cadence, there's rhythm, there's no subject at hand to absorb other than a shit ton of names, which I can guarantee it, if it's a shout video, new viewers who run across the shout video and are going to catch you, if it's more than 4 or 5 people in that shout out, you are going to get passed over very easily because 2 or 3 in, they're going to run into someone who's got a really cheap, interesting video on the front page, and they're going to dive into that channel and get lost and actually forget about the shout out video that brought them. So those are great, those are nice, and I love the love. Obviously, I got pulled in a couple of them recently, but that's actually put the thought in my mind, and I was like, that's out of love, and I love this. But is that going to be sexual later on? But in mentions and things like that, that might pop up across channels and across searches, that might help integrate things and relate channels to each other. But like view time, watch time, searchability, click throughs, I don't know how effective that is because it's hard to catch everybody and it's hard to work that list genuinely without getting lost because you get lost in people's channels once you click it. So length is really important. With the subject that you're covering. I got a little bonfire going. Warm up some water. I did a video of it though. I was like 3 quarters of the way through making it, and I was like, oh, I should have made a video. Shit. My point. And that's another thing about distraction and things like that. You go off, you mute when you put up the screen and you turn off your camera. That's another thing you can lose reviews and drop down on your view time. One of the biggest things too is panels. If it is good quality audio, That's the big thing. The point of a panel is it's a conference call to share knowledge and interest and communication. If your audio quality and background noise and everything else is absolutely terrible, and this isn't me dogging anybody, this is me giving advice for people who want to do better with their live streams and want to improve and avoid having the killer element on your live stream. And that's not good quality killer, that's a bad quality killer. That's losing subscribers, live streams, live stream views, watch time, all that, and getting thumbs downs. Because personally, audio quality is my biggest pet peeve. Well, it bugs me that it's choppy, but it happens. I try not to bug me too much. Hopefully enough is coming through and people are getting enough. But panels, if there are too many people, too much overlap, too much back and forth, especially if there's somebody who's obnoxious or your audio levels are seriously imbalanced. Give me a second. It can cause a lot of unpleasant viewing experience. So you can correlate and reflect your analytics and how that video behaves for the channel. Now, one of the big things is also going back to what I was saying about dead space and background sounds. Give it to me.
And the one pick didn't have any to it. I listened to it. It was just a knock.
People always have an issue with.
I don't know.
People always have an issue with Marvin. How's it going? With getting free music, having free music, or whatever. If you go into any of these maker apps, it's actually really easy to do something simple. Now, you try out a few sounds. I always try out all the drums just to see what they sound like.
I like it.
Yeah, this is the one I use. So,
You can just cover it.
I'm going to put it closer in a minute. There. Buttons. And you've got a nice little tune that you can sit and let it just play for a few minutes. And you've got a nice background sound. You've got something that fills dead space. If you do this right and you have it positioned right, you can actually cancel out background sound. so it actually improves your voice quality because it's the sound wave to combat the fuss. And the mic is able to focus on your voice more clearly. So I was just doing this like an example. It's one of the beat makers that I use. Eventually, I'll end up sharing all the tools and everything as I get used to it. I'll actually put out tutorials on how I did it. I'm actually considering making a whole channel dedicated to that. The whole part of creating and everything else. So, speaking of lead in, and that's a point with cadence is having those lead-ins, being able to continue from one thought to the next seamlessly. Yeah. The purpose of your live stream, your channel, and every time you turn this on, it has to have a purpose. It has to have a reason for doing it. So when you're going through your live stream, don't lose that purpose. That's why what I did today is I made a little notepad to make sure that even though I was greeting people and even though I was talking with them, Marvin Huff popped in, said hi, Mr. Articles came in, we walk in. It was someone name I didn't recognize. Oh, Chef Barbecue, I recognize the name. He's just not a lot. But people were coming in saying hi, greeting them. I was trying to respond and interact with chat. Survival LT, how's it going? But tried to keep coming to my purpose, remembering, keep back to it where I was. So that's a big point when it comes to trying to keep and stay the purpose. And one of my tricks to music is the easiest way to end a music or end a song is to always feather it out. You lose instruments, you lose glowing buttons as you go. And done. And if you really wanted to, you could press record and record that jam. But you could have pressed record and recorded a jam, and it's a song. It just kind of has steady rhythm throughout. I could have mixed it up as I went, but that's how easy it is. Like,
First cigarettes while we're doing this.
good. Also, one of the biggest things that bug me is ego change. When someone goes from being a video creator to being live streamer, they a lot of time can end up having this ego, this air about them that, you know, having an amount of people watching you at once live, stopping the time out of their lives to watch you at the moment that you're live, gives them like this ego or authority or complex when they really shouldn't. I appreciate every single one of you that pop in here, and I view that make sure that you're here for just every single one. And I appreciate that. I remember to try to maintain the same concept and the same mindset with my live streams, with my live streams, and with my videos and with my shorts. Always me, always honest. I always try to keep that way because, well, it's not try, it's I always keep that way because it's who I am. But people need to try to remember to try to do that because that is the best way to make sure that you don't come off the wrong way with things. Like it's hard to explain this, but I hope you understand what I mean. And the bottom line is that remember, it's still a video. Even though it's a live stream, if you're not going to delete it or mark it private or whatever, it's still a live stream. Yeah, they have a BS. Yeah. Try to treat it like a video every time you make one, because you're taking the time to press record, actually capture something in full raw quality. Make sure it has a purpose and use, and actually continue to grow and grow you for the future. So this is a structured purpose video. So if anybody has any questions, you can put down in the comment sections or in chat right now live, and I'll get to and answer everybody who has a question. Whether it's about live streaming techniques, thumbnails for live streams, skills, what content is good for live streams, and let's just open up for Q&A. Open panel, the link is there. For my replay champions up to this point, Toon. No, I did Toon, sorry.
I think so.
Yeah, I did one in the background. Decades. 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 Down in the comments down below for your other code. If you are a true replay champion and catch them all, put them together. No cheating. But if anybody has any questions, the link is there. I'm going to just put this here for a moment. And I think it's time for a dab of room break. Would you like your do it?
No?
Do it?
You what?
You're up.
Oh.
What'd you think on Luca?
I'm watching it.
Got some latte in the cups. And we've had the tripod fight going over the little bit. With the pot of water on it. And with all the sticks, that monster chews up and punches down into wood chips. I've got a ton of wood fuel. It's only like this big that I keep feeding to the can.
Are you doing it?
Yeah, I was going to. Yeah, I was going to put water in it. So. Well, Marvin, as soon as we can garner enough support to be able to get mobile and get moving, we're relocating here in the next couple of weeks. You know, no matter what, we got notice. We got to leave here in the next couple of weeks, at the end of the month. So we're relocating. We're trying to garner support so that we can start heading south and go to the trail and the ultra through. I'm trying to find We've got options to relocate to, a state forest, a state park. We've got places that, if need be, we end up getting just straight off to, and we'll frog up trails and stuff until we can get to a closest spot where we can get to town and have signal. But we're trying to figure something out before that happens. What do you keep chasing over there? But we're doing the Appalachian Trail at the beginning of February, in or late January, pretty much as soon as I can. I'll be starting and going straight through. Still love that my biggest supporter of the idea is also my biggest critic. Says never gonna do it, not gonna make it. Need an extra 60 days, can't do it in 200. That's why I'm timing it out right. I'm staying down south at the worst possible time, so as I go, it gets better. And just before I'm done is before it gets shitty. Or just as it's getting done is before it gets shitty. So it'll work out. But does anybody have any live streaming questions? Absolutely. Anybody who wants to meet on the trail, we definitely will. Sorry, notification again. Alrighty, man. I'll probably be doing another live here in a little bit because this one was focused. So if nobody has any questions or wants to come panel and talk live stream advice or anything like that, or anything that you have for those that maybe some of the big mistakes people have that I haven't mentioned yet, put it in the comments, put it in the chat, come on panel. You gotta prove your youth. And I'll give it a couple of minutes. See if anybody has any questions and thoughts. Says we got 3 hanging out. Hey, hiya. 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 I'm hiya. What? Hiya. Okay, big butt. Alright, everybody. So, nobody has any questions? Nobody has any live stream advice, talks, chats, or anything else? I'm going to be closing it up here in a minute, and we'll be opening up a hangout, camp chat, probably crafting. Got some stuff to show you, things like that. Might do some carving tonight. We'll see what we're up to. And probably some fundraising, letting you guys know what's going on, and planning on my birthday dish tomorrow, which is probably going to be one long whole live stream day. So, yep, my birthday tomorrow. Turned 28 again. Second time.
Turning 29, so let him fool you.
You can just stop cursing like that. People
Is-
I know, but it's annoying. It ruins the illusion. I'm turning 20 again. But anyway, last call for questions, thoughts, and comments. Otherwise, there's a way. Otherwise, next time, get out there, be a native beast.